You're going to look at that camera and say, action, cheese it up. Go for it.
Cheese it.
Action.
And we're off. Today is episode 45. We've been away for a little bit, really busy, and we're lucky to have on Andrea Napoli today. Thanks for coming. You excited?
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Tell everybody who you are.
There's a little backstory to who I am and how I got started.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Well, so I tennis is my first love, and I was a tennis manager for many years. And there was some personal stuff going on with family. Family member got sick. So that position that I was in, that working, allowed me the flexibility to take care of him for a certain time. But I was somewhat pushed out of that and decided that I needed a career that I could create for myself. So I got my license, and at first I thought I was going to do both, and it didn't work out that way. And everybody kind of knows it's a little bit of a misnomer. You can't really be a great agent part-time, I should say. You know, it's to have a career, you really need to dive into it. So I did. I joined KW, and it was the best thing I ever did.
Now, when was that? When did you get into the business?
2015, I started the process, and then I really dove in 2016, the spring of 2016.
What do you mean you really dove in?
Well, I started.
Yeah.
They have a training program that, you know, they're pretty well known for. So it's called productivity coaching, and I started in that, and I really soaked up everything I could. I met everyone at the office. I went all the time.
So you got in around 2015, really started like getting going around 2016. You started with these training programs. Now, a lot of companies have these training programs. I was actually with KW when I had my license, and I kind of started in that. I'm sure they've evolved, and they're a little bit different, probably better than they were back then.
They actually are much better.
What would you say, would you tell a new agent to do the same thing that you did, or having gone through the process yourself, would you give different advice for an agent getting into the business?
I would. I do. I give the same advice, and I kind of share the stories of being at the office. It's a little different now because we're not going to the office like we did pre-pandemic. But I did make a lot of relationships that helped me along the way. I listened a lot to other agents, and I think that was really helpful to me. And I just showed up. So agents knew who I was. So if I needed to do an open house or something like that, or just work a deal together, if I needed help, I had that in my repertoire, so to speak. You know, I could call Susie or Sally or Mike because they knew me. Yeah. And that really helped me during a transaction.
What are some of the biggest things that you found you needed help with starting out?
You get your license, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sell a house? Like, I know nothing. So again, being there and having that help, just to have the confidence to be able to speak to somebody and say, I have a whole team of people behind me. I have coaches. I'm never going to, you know, tell you something that I'm not going to fact check, or we're going to work through together if I don't know the answer to something.
How soon into your career did you get your first listing?
Oh, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think my previous career was very helpful in that arena because I was connected to the community already. People knew me professionally, so they were comfortable with my ethics and, you know, my abilities. So it was quick. It was really quick. And it was somebody I knew well. Most of my business is people that I know well. So it was a neighbor. And
so you went in, you got your first listing. Give me like kind of the story of that. Like, did you go in, you're like, okay, I know exactly what to do, or did you think that? And then when you got in, you're like, okay, well, this is something I need to.
Well, again, you have guidance, you have people, and I would follow people. So I did have an idea of kind of how I wanted to go and, for a listing. My first actual transaction was a buyer.
Okay.
And it was one of my tennis partners. And the KW, their mantra was you would have to talk to people and say, do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell real estate? And I hated it. I would make fun of it. So, but I did it a lot. And I would just be like, oh, they want us to say this. And so I would say this to him, and I would say like, hey, do you want to buy or sell real estate? And so it was a Friday night, and he called me, and so we were going to play tennis together. So I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? He was like, I want to buy a house. And I was like, are we going to meet? Like, whatever. And he was like, no, really, I want to buy a house. So I was like, oh my God. I was really excited, and that came to fruition, and he bought the house. And so the next was, again, a neighbor that needed to buy, and then I was selling their house once they bought. So that would have been my first listing.
So how did the negotiation go in your first deal? I guess, and what I'm asking was that I got my license in like 07, 08, and my first deal was a buyer also. I had helped first buy deal, a buy or sell was a buyer. And I had helped this young girl get into a rental. And there was this agent who had been in the business for, 30, 40 years, however long she'd been in the business. And she was listing the house that I put the renter into. And she did not talk to the renter and say, hey, do you want to buy the house? Well, my client had called and said, hey, they're going to be listing this house. I might need help finding another place. And I happened to I said like, hey, did you ever think about buying it? And she's like, oh. And it turned out she ended up getting approved. The negotiation was kind of a little tense because the agent was pissed off because it was right under her nose. And I had to hear, oh, I've been doing this for this long and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay. But
she didn't take the extra step though. Right? To plant the seed.
But I found that in the beginning, it's like I knew the right things to say. Like I knew like on paper, like this is what I should be doing. And I wasn't doing anything wrong, but my confidence wasn't there yet because I hadn't really done it yet. So I ran into that. Generally was one of the hardest things in the beginning, is because it's like, between that and like listing appointments where you would get, I'd get, hey, how long have you been doing this? Or how many houses have you sold? But what I was saying didn't change over time, but my delivery changed over time. I was more confident in what I was saying and understanding the whole process. So I stopped getting those questions. So like, was there one thing, was it negotiations? Was there one thing that you felt that was like I was saying, maybe something you're not doing wrong, but something that just like was something that you just really improved on over time that was a little bit of a challenge in the beginning?
I'm sure there was a lot that I've improved on and still need to improve on. I think I still constantly learn and grow. The listing appointments are probably what I would think is my biggest challenge. Still. And I think a lot of it is because I've had 90% of my business comes from the people that I know and know well.
Right.
And one of my hurdles is to grow. I can only take so much out of those people, right. And you need to put yourself into situations where you maybe a cold situation. Those are the things that sometimes I'll see that I struggle with, and that if I went home, I'd be like, oh man, I wish I could have done that a little differently, because I'm not scripted when I speak to people. I'm not always practicing what's the word they use? The challenge, when they, even then, back then, that was, a hurdle, and I've gotten much, much better.
Yeah.
But it's still uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. So. I think I had the same kind of issues. Mm-hmm. So if you had to pinpoint one thing, would that be it? Or if you had to pinpoint one thing that, like, let's say going into 2026 that you would really want to work on for your business to improve, whether it's processes, whatever, or just a skill? I
think that if it's a skill, that would definitely be it. Practicing, not not so much scripts so that I'm, not a natural, but yeah, paying attention to reading the room, so to speak. I just had an experience where somebody did reach out to me. It was a referral. And I think I went in with the expectation that okay, well, it's going to be handed to me,
Yeah.
And I went in to kind of tell him everything that he had done wrong. It didn't go so well because he was a for sale by owner and it was overpriced and there were, he had done his disclosure incorrectly. And I kind of went in with this, I can help you, but here's why.
Yeah.
And I didn't read the room.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know him.
Yeah.
And
they tend to already have a guard up too.
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be the area that.
Did you end up getting it?
No.
They were tough. I went after all the FSBOs because back in 07, 08 when everything tanked. That was the who to go after.
Yeah.
The expired listings and whatnot. So we talked about some challenges, some things that areas that you would love to grow in. What's your biggest strong point?
I study the business. I pay attention to the business so that I can bring that to my buyers and sellers. Always studying, always learning, and I'm very detail oriented. I'm not passive. I want to make sure that my buyers and sellers are getting everything from me that's why they're hiring me, because of my knowledge base and understanding of the market and what's going on. It moves really fast and you have to kind of pay attention and take time.
What aspect of today's market do you think what you just talked about really makes an impact for your buyers and sellers? Is it pricing? Is it looking at the competition? Is it managing the transaction once under contract?
All of the above. But I think the relationship between the listing agent and the buyer agent and your reputation in the industry is underrated in terms of people paying attention to it, in terms of other agents. I know for a fact that this last buyer that I just put under contract, it was multiple offer situation. And I know, because I was told, we went under contract because of the way I presented the information. When I made the offer, it was the way I communicated with the agent. It was a little something I wrote in the feedback that made it human. That I think that I know that listing agent felt that I was going to be easy to work with. I represented my client well. I dotted my I's and crossed my T's.
Yeah,
and I think that is, it's a relationship business with your clients and with the people that you work with.
Yeah. I have a question, and I'm just curious for your take on this, and I don't really have a hard opinion one way or the other, but everybody says that, right? That it's a relationship business. I agree, it is. But some people that I know, it seems like they take that to a point where everything has to be friendly, and it's can be professional, it can be courteous, it can be all those type of things. But do you think in some cases some people take it to the point where maybe they're leaving money on the table because they're being too nice, or they're giving away too much money on the buyer's end? Do you see that? Do you agree with that?
Okay, back to that question
Sure.
earlier on, and if I could maybe not repeat something,
Sure.
in the future, would be I probably need to set more boundaries. There is a fine line between being kind, being nice, and being professional, right? This is my business. This is how I feed my family. Sure. So I would say maybe I give too much.
Okay.
Of myself, my time, and money.
Yeah.
I invest a lot.
I do want to get to that, Boo, in reference to some things. At least it's an observation, and I could be off, but I do want to get to that. So giving too much, your time and stuff. I see a lot of agents that, so you can have success in a lot of ways in this business, right? I think that there's generally two types of agents. Now, you could say there's two types of agents in a lot of different ways, but in this way, there's two types of agents. There's agents that are selling houses, and there's agents that are running businesses. Right. And you can have the agents that are like machines. They just go in, You can have some of them that are too like you are literally a machine and the client doesn't get as much of a personal touch.
Right.
Then you can have clients that are running very efficient businesses that do give a nice personal touch. But then you have agents that they're really good on a deal by deal basis, but they let the clients run them all over creation and take things over. And the reason I notice this a lot is because a lot of it puts stress on my company because the agents are letting the clients just run them ragged and like, hey, they're cleaning the client's house for them. They're doing this, they're doing that. Where would you say I'm not saying you're doing that, but I mean, where do you feel you fall in kind of that stuff?
I consider myself, my past background was a manager, so I kind of take that project manager role with my listings especially. I do a lot, but it's more of an organizational, like I bring the painter, the cleaners, I schedule it for them, but we map it together. Okay. So it starts from the beginning. So the client's participating in this. I have cleaned myself.
We all have done something.
I have painted myself.
For sure.
But it's together, and it builds that trust with your, so when the hard time comes, when we're negotiating, they see that. Yeah. They feel that trust. They do trust me, but I feel like I need the buy-in. Yeah. With them to do the work alongside of me.
Sure.
But I think they're looking to me for what to do. Mm-hmm. And so I solve answers for them. And I have unbelievable relationships with people that have helped me, get to where I am. My painters, my contractors, all of those people my handyman. Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed at, they move their schedules for me. My cleaning woman, she's just incredible. And I feel very fortunate and very lucky to have met them along the way, and I support them and they support me. And my clients benefit.
It's a relationship business.
Yeah.
Yep. So sounds like you have a pretty good system and protocols for when you're working with your clients. Right. I
do, because of Cathy Binz. She's the process person. She's very good at it, and she's taught me a lot.
How long has Cathy been with you?
4 years, 3 years.
Now, was it maybe more organized now, or was like a lot of this implemented with Cathy?
Oh, I always knew what I wanted to do, and I would look at other agents and saw what they were doing, and I wanted to grow, and but you don't have the time.
Yeah,
I can't wear all hats, and I'm not good at everything.
Yeah.
So I knew for a long time that was going to be the path, and then we met, and I think I knew right away that she was a good fit for me. Mm-hmm. And we've had our struggles, but I've grown.
Yeah.
Our systems, our marketing, everything is really because of her.
Do you ever take the time to kind of look back at where you were last year, a few years ago, and say, damn, we've come, because sometimes in the moment you don't really realize the progress you've made till you look backwards for a second, sometimes, because it's like in my business, it's like sometimes on a weekly basis, it's like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But then when you actually look back, you're like, come a long way.
I probably don't do it enough. I feel like I sometimes a hamster on a wheel, and I'm always looking at the next thing. What are we doing? We just did our budget for next year. We worked on our business plan and marketing plan, down to the penny. Mm-hmm. But I don't often take the time to say like, wow, I should.
So I told you, you'll probably meet him on your way out. My dad's my business partner. Yeah. And we started this business in 2006, and we didn't envision. I was super young when we started this business, so it was kind of like, I don't think the way I think now. I didn't have the experience, all that type of thing. But I look back now, and I'm like, man, we're rolling right now, and like the outlook for 2026 for us is pretty good. We picked up, like you picked up Cathy. Connor's our most recent. our most recent hire, we have another guy, Jake, who you probably won't meet him today, but he's been with us pretty close to the beginning. And, finding good people is not easy. And I think it's just, I don't know, as time goes on, it's like I'm proud of what we're building, and it's pretty cool. What does 2026 look like for you and your business? Where's your head at?
We have lofty goals. Again, I've been fortunate to grow each year. Last year wasn't such a great year. It was a little bit down, and I'm sure that's inventory and election year, all that. But so I always have goals. I mean, we have transaction goals, dollar goals. They're pretty big.
Definitely looking to grow, not stay status quo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just, do you have buyer agents or other agents on your team? Is that in the future, or are you where you're at?
We keep talking about it. I keep bringing it up.
Because you see some agents that you add support pieces, but they're still running essentially the show.
I don't know how that's going to look yet. I'm not sure, but it's definitely on my mind. I want to make sure that I have the infrastructure and the business to support having someone.
Yeah.
I want that business first. I don't want to bring somebody to get me business. I want to have the business for them, if that makes sense.
Sounds great. I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
You can't build a skyscraper on a crappy foundation.
Yeah.
Okay, so in reference to, everybody says you got to spend money to make money, right? Different agents spend their growth money, let's call it, in different ways. Some people buy leads. Some people hire marketing services. Some people do promotional events. In the short time that we've been working with you, I've seen that you guys have a lot of events and things on your list. Has that always been the strategy? Is it something you've done recently?
It's been a big part of who I am, and I do a lot of nonprofit events and things like that, fundraiser events, and I participate in a lot because community and giving back is important to me. But inside the business, we do events for our clients too. So it's also it's in a way, I'm not a cold caller. I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not looking for sale by owners or expireds. I'm giving back to the people that I love, and I'm spending time with them. So for me, it's like almost like a big lead gen to have a pickleball party or whatever dinner I've had in the past. So those type of events are part of my business.
Okay.
And it's fun.
Yeah,
so
I can imagine.
It's a great way to just
So you've had success
stay connected with people.
You're finding success in that realm, doing those things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You ever think about doing a charity tennis tournament?
Sure. Yeah. Tennis tournaments are tough. I used to run them, but we've done. I mean, like I said, we did the pickleball. Everybody loves pickleball now. It's hot.
What is up with that?
know.
I never heard about it before. In the last few years, I'm like condo communities have pickleball courts.
Oh yeah,
and
everybody's crazy for it.
It's crazy.
All of our tennis players aren't real happy about it, but they're taking up our courts. It's fun. It's easy to learn. You don't, tennis has to be organized, and it takes a lot of time. This doesn't, so
Yeah.
that's why it's popular. Anybody can play.
So one event you have coming up is the casino night.
Yes.
Do you know Dick Vermeil personally?
No, but I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
I hear he's awesome, and his wife is coming too, so I'm excited.
Years ago, I waited tables and bartended, did stuff like that, and I worked at a restaurant, and he came in with, it was Chili's in Downingtown actually.
Oh, wow.
And he came in, and I got to wait on him once. Yeah, he's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, I heard he's very generous with his time. He's a busy man.
Yeah. Yeah. How old is he now? Is it 80s?
Yeah, I think so.
Still rolling.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him. So
Yeah, no, that's very cool. Have you noticed seasonality in the market returning?
yeah, absolutely.
How do you see things going this year? You think we're just going to see kind of the old school, like slowing down around the holidays and picking back up, or do you see something different?
I do. Even just this summer, I told a couple buyers, stay engaged with me, because most buyers check out. It's natural. You're at the shore, you're taking, whatever you're doing, and you tell your agent like, oh, we're going on vacation and I'll check back with you, in the fall.
Yeah.
But if you can stay in that pocket as a buyer, you may be in a situation where there's less competition. So, and the holidays are the same.
What do you do in your business around the holidays? Do you check out like most agents? Or do you kind of, or do you like?
I wish I could check out. I never check out. I wish sometimes I could relax.
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking about the next thing.
So you're planting the seeds for the next year right now.
Yeah. Right now, a lot of my business will wrap up at the end of November for what we have. But my one question to Cathy was like, okay, what are we going to be doing in December? But we, again, we are already planning for next year. But if I don't work now, then January and February.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I've never understood it because it's like, then it takes them till April before they start picking back up because they took off.
But I'm doing the fun things. I'm doing the fundraisers, and I'm celebrating the holidays with friends, and there is an element of I feel like I'm always working.
Yeah.
I always have that realtor hat on.
That's the business owner deal. With that said, would you change it?
I think if in general, no, because it's building a life. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of keep my eye on the prize, if you will. Mm-hmm. There are times when there are times.
Yeah.
But I take the small moments. I spend time with my grandson, who I adore, and that brings me joy, and my family. So I think every career has its positives and its negatives, and there's times when you want to be like, oh, why did I do this?
So maybe it's a grind, but you do make time for the important stuff.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Let me ask you this. Do you prefer buyers or sellers?
Sellers.
Sellers. Well, I mean.
Sellers. But here's why. It's oh my gosh, it's completely different because it allows, the way I run is I can be creative. I love the befores and afters. I love digging into a property. I love transforming it and getting that 50,000 over, getting when people walk in, getting 25 to 30 people at an open house. I love that part of it.
You brought up open houses. There's always the agents who say they're worthless. Where do you stand on them? Do you do them because the client wants it, or do you do it because you see value there?
My opinion on open houses has changed. I never really cared for them. I didn't see the value, but the buyers are changing. And I think because they're in the market longer, that they're coming to these open houses because they're not wanting to burden their realtor. They're saying like, let me go, I'll go. Or maybe it's something that comes up that they might think about, but they're not sure, and they don't want to drag a realtor to a private showing. Yeah. So I'm seeing an uptick in them coming. So I find that there's value to meeting them firsthand, whether they're represented or not. If they have interest in the home, I want to be the one to give them that information. I think there's benefits my seller, and it benefits, right, in the end, me. And
what's more likely to happen, picking up an unrepresented buyer or having the person who might be represented and actually is going to buy that house?
I see more people that are represented in my listings, but I've made relationships with people that are unrepresented for the future, not necessarily for that particular house. They weren't ready for it.
Is it fair to say that even if, let's say it turns into nothing, right? Either way, but if you're the one there and you're shaking hands and kissing babies, people get to know you more.
Right. And neighbors come. I always invite neighbors. I think neighbors.
Forgot about that one. Yeah.
Neighbors can sell a community, a house.
Pick your neighbor.
And I think the sellers, feel like you're obviously working for them.
Do you stage every house?
Yes, pretty much.
What's more common for you, actually having the blank canvas to work with, or basically just zhuzhing up what they have in the house?
Seems like lately we've done a little more of the blank canvas, but I do both.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say like, is that couch gonna go with you to your new house? Maybe we could bring in something a little lighter, a little,
You're very diplomatic.
Because, staging is very different than living in a home. Mm-hmm. We live for comfort. I don't want you to not be comfortable.
Yeah.
But now we're selling, and now we have to have a visual representation.
From my end of things, it's like, I feel like it should almost be illegal for people to decorate their own houses. Because I go in there, I'm like, what were you thinking?
Very delicate conversation. It's very personal.
I'll leave it up to you guys.
Yes.
With the staging, I have clients who provide the staging. That's part of their service, and some that actually they project manage it, but the seller's paying for it. How do you work in your business? Is it a combination of the two?
So it's a service that I offer.
Okay.
It's part of working with me. I started out by offering a consultation with a stager to kind of remove me, not be the bad guy. And it pretty much resulted in the end the same thing, as we would be staging the property. But I want to be able to have a little control, and so it's hard to get a seller, especially in the market where things are moving fast, they're selling quickly, to buy into that we need to do anything.
Yeah.
So I found that it just was easier to offer it as part of my service, as part of my package.
How long have you been doing staging as part of your service?
I mean, I've been doing it since the beginning.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely the last couple of years, though, I've done it more.
Talk about the benefits of doing that for a seller.
Well, money, first of all, but it starts with your first showing is your photos. So if you don't have quality photos and an image, then buyers they're going right by you.
Yeah.
So if the house is cluttered, if it's not visually appealing to what they want, and you have to know your demographic too. Who's buying this house?
Yeah.
So if it's a 30-something or 40, I know what they like. I know what they want. Mm-hmm. They don't want to do anything. They want it turnkey for the most part.
Now, you said money, first of all, right? So unpack that a little bit. What are they getting?
So again, it's about getting as many people through the house as possible. So it's getting showings. It's getting people coming to your open house. That's going to give you the seller leverage and create the competition. So it's a more appealing listing, a more attractive is going to sell for a higher dollar.
Yeah. So Giunta Lane, we went in there. I think it's a great house, right? But if that thing was empty, it would not show anywhere near as nice as it did.
No, absolutely.
Like you walked in, and I think that it went from being like, hey, this is a solid house, we'll consider it, to the way you had it set up, a no-brainer for somebody.
I think it's even not, I'll consider it. It's, oh my God, I got to do a lot of work to this house, and it's picking it apart.
Okay.
Instead of, oh my God, it's so cozy. Look at the archways, right? It's emotional, so it's a whole different feel.
Yeah.
When it feels homey.
So the video that you sent us with the reaction from the sellers when they saw it, who was holding the camera, you or Cathy?
I was.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel when? Well, first
I
of all,
love it. I love it.
For the people that came in, describe that situation. Like, hey, did you tell them like, hey, it's staged, we want to bring you in?
Yeah. So she there's an executor. She doesn't live. She lives in New Jersey. So I knew she was coming, and I showed up early, and I said I even locked the side door. I'm like, you got to go through the front door. I want you to see it. She's like, okay. And so she had her husband on FaceTime, and yeah, so you saw the reaction was just
genuine.
Yeah.
And
we've done that a few times, and I love it.
Yeah, it's good to see. What do you think the biggest challenge is for a seller entering this market right now?
I don't think they're caught up with pricing.
Yeah.
I think they still think we're back in.
How much of the home's sitting right now? Because you are seeing homes sitting longer. How much of that is a product of what you just said? Because it's like, not that the home couldn't move fast, but it's not because they're not pricing it the way they need to price it for this market. It's
not all the sellers. I don't know where they're getting their advice, some of these situations. Ultimately, right, it's the seller's decision where the pricing starts. But I think it's the listing agent's job to make sure that they're educated and they understand the pricing strategy.
in my opinion, I think some of it is a lot of agents out there that are newer agents that have only known the COVID market till now.
Right.
Don't understand the market we're going into, but the agents who have been in there a little bit longer have seen this before. So I think that's the gap in some ways too.
Don't understand, don't pay attention. And that's what I kind of meant earlier about studying the craft and staying on top of things, because it moves fast. And we look at comps, I don't know, not 90 days. You have to pay attention to what's going on 30 days, right now, right? What's happening, because it does change quickly. So if I was listing a house now, it'd be very different, maybe my mindset than if I was listing it in April.
Staying on sellers, what are some other things that your experience, your attention to detail help you see what other agents might miss?
A ton, because I see what they miss. Disclosures, misinformation, not getting information ahead, like HOA information, right? I think as a buyer's agent, the number one question you get asked if you're going into a community is, what are the rules? I don't know how many listings that I see, they don't bother to get those rules, the covenant, whatever, the HOA docs.
Can I put up my 50-foot Santa Claus?
Exactly. They need to know those things. So why not give that information and make ahead of time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. So you said a number one question you hear from buyers. What's a pretty common question you get from sellers right now?
How's the market?
That one hasn't changed.
There's not a lot of inventory. I get those kind of things.
Yeah. Is there like a specific thing that they seem concerned about more than others?
I still get like, what's the best time? Is it still the best time? Is the spring market, after Super Bowl, is that still a thing? I get asked that.
What is the best time to sell your house?
After the Super Bowl. It's funny. I would say that probably we would all agree that's when the spring market starts. But I also pay attention to the weather.
In what respect?
If we have a really tough winter and it's snowy and gets, I kind of would probably wait a little bit. It's hard to trudge in the snow. It's hard to show a house. Obviously, if you have to sell, you have to sell. But if we have a choice, I think I had a really great fall because we had a late summer. It was really nice, kind of temperature-wise.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to go out and look and stay engaged.
Isn't that the way with everything?
Yeah.
And these days, if it's not easy, people don't want to do it.
It's the truth.
The number one piece of advice you would give to a seller right now?
Going back to the question I might get asked is, what do I need to do to my house, to get ready?
Okay. I
get that a lot. And so my answer is always paint. Make sure your paint is fresh. That's the easiest thing to do, declutter. And then beyond that, if we were getting into the nitty-gritty, it would be pricing strategy. Like, let's talk about a real pricing strategy.
Do you get a lot of pushback these days from sellers, or are you usually, is that like something that you are good at it? Kind of just like, hey, present the facts. This is the reality of the situation. And and maybe it's not anything you did. Is it like, are sellers likely, as long as you're doing your job and your due diligence, are they likely to take your recommendations?
I would say most of the time they do, but it's also because I roll it out, so to speak. I'm not somebody that's going to be like, you're going to list your house for this, or this is, it just starts with a range. We could be anywhere from here to here. And I don't tend to get down to the nitty-gritty until very close to the end, because I could be working with somebody for a little while, especially if I'm in that we're painting, we need to clean out the house. I think Giunta Lane, we started, it might have been 9 months when we first met them to when we actually got the call that was like, okay, now, things have fallen into place and we're ready to go, but we still had to paint and they had to get clean, declutter. So talking about pricing 9 months prior makes no sense.
Right.
but we know where we're going to be in the pocket. And if you do this, I'm going to probably suggest this. Like if you paint, or if we just doing it as is and it's going to be empty, that's very different.
So those type of suggestions that you're giving them are going to be applicable 9 months ago and 9 months and right now. You know what I mean? The stuff that you're asking them is not going to be something that like, hey, I'm giving you this advice now and it's 9 months ago. But okay, the market's changed so much that, hey, maybe we could have not done that. Your stuff you're giving them is always going to be applicable.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, let's shift to buyers real quick. So the buyers have had a rough go.
They have.
And one of the things that you're seeing a lot more of in the last year has been inspections are coming back. What else? What should buyers be prepared for going into this market?
In our area, in the Westchester market, in certain price points, it's still going to be a death to the. There's still going to be multiple offers. There is. There's demand is there in certain areas and price points. I think sometimes, and again, it depends on maybe the demographic, but some buyers need to adjust their expectations a little bit. I usually let that play out. Especially if you're entering the market for the first time. I'm not somebody that's gonna be telling you how it is. I want you to self-discover.
Yeah.
So we may lose a house. I'm giving them the advice, but I'm letting them play out the scenario. Like, so if somebody's really, really rigid on, I'll never waive an inspection, they find that they may get to that point because they realize that that's the only way that I might get this house. So, but I need them to figure that out. Yeah.
The whole, you're going to have to waive inspections. That's like the opposite of the advice people were giving for the longest time. Yeah. Where do you see buyers, if there's something that's happening more than others, when they have to concede things or set expectations? Is it I might not be able to live in the area I want to live? Is it I may not be able to get the size of the house? Is it I may have to pay more? Is there one thing that you see where they're making that adjustment more than others, where they're willing to give?
The rule of three, I guess. It's price, location, condition. You're rarely going to get all three. So pick your poison. If you can, right, increase your pricing to get the location and the condition you want. Or maybe you have to change your location to stay within the price and the condition, right? Right now, a lot of it is condition because we're not seeing a lot of quality properties.
Except the ones you're selling, right? All right, here's a 30-second elevator pitch. Why, if I'm looking for an agent, there's so many, there's a million agents, right?
We're like ants.
Why would somebody hire you?
Good at what I do. I think it goes back to really being knowledgeable in my field. Really studying the craft, knowing the market. It doesn't matter who you're hiring, whether it's a contractor or a painter. You want to know somebody's going to do a good job, right? You want to know they're going to meet your needs.
Yeah.
And I think my track record shows that. I haven't lost anybody yet.
That's great. What are you most looking forward to leading into the new year? Is it just holiday stuff? Is it business related? What are you looking forward to?
Into the new year?
Well, like with the holidays coming up, what are you looking forward to most?
Well, my grandbaby, come on. He's
how old?
19 months, I guess.
Oh, wow.
He's the best.
Yep.
And it brings so much joy to every situation. We can't get enough of them. So it'll be a fun holiday season with.
So can I ask you, they just moved the Halloween parade to Sunday at 1:00.
There's a lot of controversy.
Who did that? They took the fun factor out of it.
I don't know.
The evening one was so cool.
Yeah. And I would think that the community, the restaurants would like that it's in the evening, right? They want them to participate and people be in town.
Yeah. And the lights and just the vibe was more Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was a little annoyed with that one.
Yeah.
They better not mess with the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
How do people find you?
I'm everywhere on social media, as you know now.
What platforms?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
You dancing on TikTok?
No.
I know.
And I've been told by my children I better not. And obviously my website.
Which is?
Andrea Napoli, KW, right? Mm-hmm. Andrea Napoli, Realtor. I'm pretty easy to find.
The last question that we ask all of our guests, leave us with a positive message to the world.
First thing that comes to mind is be kind. There's a quote that I have, my girlfriend gave me. It's hanging in my house. That's, I think my Angelou was quoted as saying it. I don't know if she originated this, but it's, people won't remember what you did or what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
That's a good one. I didn't know it was her, but
I kind of live by that.
That's a good one.
I think we're just in a very contentious time, it feels like, and
people need to take a chill pill sometimes.
And I just think that if you just it compounds if you're nice.
Agreed. Well, that's awesome. A lot of people get stumped on that one. You nailed it. That's it. We're done.
We're done?
That was a great show. Thank you for joining us.
It was really fun to be here.
Cool.
My first podcast.
That's it. Now you got to start doing more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.